N is for never. Never allow people to dictate your actions. Never fall short of your visions, and never quit. And O is for opportunity. Know that opportunity without preparation and cultivation leads to frustration. And P is for power. Know that power has nothing to do with position in life. It has more to do with your ability to define your own reality. And Q is for query. Always know you must query those who profess to be your friends, because it's those who profess to be your friends are the ones that will stab you in the back. And R is for revive. Always be willing to revive your soul without a moment's notice. And S is for satisfaction. Never be satisfied with less than your best. And T is for timeliness. Always strive to be on time, or you will be left behind. And U is for unity. If you're going to the top, take somebody with you. And V is for victory, and victory will be yours as long as you remember who you are and whose you are. And X is for X-ray. Hold people, persons, places, and things to the light. And Y is for you are the only one standing between you and God's vision for your life. And Z is for zenith, and that's where you will be. If you always remember, if you're not on the way, then you are in the way.
And now, more than ever, it is time for us to get back in touch with the spirit that lives inside us all. Because without it, we are less than whole. But with it, there is nothing we cannot overcome. For the essence of our existence is spirit.
If we can sit up there and be the only black face in a whole class of computer science engineers, and ain't nobody there but us, if we can sit up in this organic chemistry and we the only black face anywhere around, and we know every time they look at us, they are seeing potential inferiority because they believe by their own white supremacist conceptualization we couldn't possibly master what they're mastering. And if we can still walk out of there, Phi Beta Kappas and Magna Cum Laudes and Summa Cum Laudes, we ain't just equal to, we far surpass their greatest fantasies of what they can be. Don't you understand that?
The scene is in South Africa, and it is the scene of a black policeman with a billy club raised above his head, clearly in the process of about to come down on the back of a black man. And what Julius Lester wrote under that photograph was the following: we must not be the instruments of our own oppression.
And so the reality is then that we live in an anti-intellectual culture, but you and I, as people who bear the burden of history in the most powerful, edifying fashion, we have to understand that we use the mind as a tool for liberation for the people who listen to us. Why is that important? It's important because we ain't just got no education to get our pockets on swole. We ain't just trying to build up cheddar, break money down, put it in our bank account, and don't give a dang about nobody else. That ain't what we're about. We're about a people who understand the necessity for community. We reach out to one another. If you ain't got, I'm going to share with what I got. If I go to Gates Barbecue and buy some, I'm going to buy you some too. If I'm still eating pork.
We'll keep the focus where it belongs, and that's what I love about the brothers of the Academy and the sisters of the Academy. We know that the Academy is simply one context of struggle.
We're trying to keep alive a tradition that was connected to linking that struggle for freedom with the struggle for intellectual, existential, and psychic freedom as well.
The reason it's important to have minority representation in higher education, because more institutions of higher ed are receiving more minority students. It first started with the sports program. Now it's carrying over to the entire student body. And the reason we need better representation is because as these students matriculate through universities, they need to have positive role models that they can relate to, who understand and have a knowledge of their culture.
Well, the work that Dr. Jones is doing is absolutely critical, both as a scholar and an educator. He's voicing the concerns of the voiceless, and far too much time has gone by where people have been silenced and unable to participate in the public discourse and in the public mass media. So Dr. Jones's work is absolutely crucial in that area, and I'm hoping we get a lot more of it.
You know, I really believe it's most important for Dr. Jones to be on television because it gives an opportunity for the community to hear the dialogue that's being filtered through the state university system, as well as to connect with those others who are not in the system, but to have a constant understanding of what the agenda is, to connect with students, the community, as well as other intellectuals who are out there that can bring something to the conversation.
When I arrived at WSU, I didn't have a male mentor like yourself, somebody who set an example, who followed through on an example, who was always providing the intangibles and alluding to why greater effort is needed and why shows like Your Voice are needed and why our voice is needed as a whole. So Dr. Jones, I want to congratulate you and acknowledge you as a real leader in the media, a leader in education, and a leader in the lives of people personally and professionally. Congratulations to Your Voice, and I look forward to 200 more shows. Please keep us posted in the Northwest because we really love you, we appreciate you, and keep it going.
If I can help somebody as I travel along, if I can help somebody with a word or a song, if I can help somebody all day long, then my living will not be in vain.
Well, I'm gonna jump back to our issue about the community.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the show that you all did involving the homeless.
Yes.
Tallahassee has a huge homeless rate.
Right.
How did you all work into making that show possible? Because I'm sure that took a lot of work and involvement and reaching out into the community. How did y'all go about that?
Really strange thing. I wouldn't even say strange, but I was actually working out in the gym, and I had begun, my body had started to change a little bit, and so I had to give a lot of clothes away because they were a little big for me, and so I had taken them down to the homeless shelter, and I saw and I had taken them down at a time when, I guess it was like a time when people could check into the homeless shelter, and so, I mean, just people. I opened my trunk, and a whole bunch of people just kind of like swarmed me.
Right.
You know, and I had a really good friend of mine who was with me, and we were taking the clothes out, and I saw these faces. They were black, they were white, they were male, they were female, they were Hispanic, they were Asian, they were old, they were young. I saw families. I mean, and literally, I mean, I started to swell up. I know they said black men aren't supposed to cry, but I really did. I mean, I said, wow, this is really deep,
right.
You know. And I stood out there talking to people for 3.5 hours. And I was just going to run down there and take like 2 boxes of clothes, and I stood out there for 3.5 hours talking. And then finally the director came out of the homeless shelter, and you know, he wanted to see what was keeping people outside talking. and we just sat out there and talked, and I asked him, said, would you like to come on the show? And that's how it all happened. Yeah. It was really interesting. I mean, and I just really felt like we needed to get